Hey, I'm Tiki Barber. Be terrific.
Hey, this is BeTerrific. We're at Books and Greetings in Northvale, New Jersey. I'm Michael Artsis. Thanks for joining us. Very special guest, Tiki Barber. Tiki, it's great to be with you.
Great to be with you. I'm glad that we decided to attire our head the same way.
Me too. I recently did this, and I think it looks great. You inspired it.
It's so much easier when you wake up in the morning and have to do absolutely nothing other than brush your eyebrows every now and then.
It's terrific. Now, you've got the new book, Extra Innings.
Yep.
It's not your first book, but tell me a little bit about it.
We have had, my twin brother and I have written 12 children's books, and this is our latest. Most of them were football-based, but we decided to move out of it. So we got into basketball and then finally into baseball, which was a sport we only played a little bit, but the lessons that you can pass on through sport are so prevalent in writing. And so we found a little niche. Boys don't like to read all the time, and so if you write books about sports with athletes that they know, then you can get them involved in learning things that they otherwise wouldn't find unless they found it in books. And so Extra Innings is about playing a game for the first time and learning the ins and outs of something new. And that's kind of how we are with baseball. I think that's how a lot of kids are with sports or life or school or new friends.
I love baseball. But it kind of goes in and out of popularity with me, right?
Yes.
You find the same thing?
I find exactly the same thing. I didn't follow it really much at all until about a year ago when I started my new radio show on CBS Sports Radio. And now I've actually started to appreciate what I'm seeing, which makes it easier to watch. If you don't know what you're watching, then you sit there and say, well, they're just standing around. You know, I'm watching a pitcher and a catcher throw the ball back and forth, and every now and then a guy hits it. But if you can figure out what strategies are, who are the good players, and what they're trying to do, it makes it a lot easier to sit for 3 hours and watch a game.
Yeah, there are a lot of layers to baseball. What I think is I kind of am getting back into it now with a 10-month-old son. I'm starting to get him ready, you know, or get excited. He's not ready yet. But I start to think about like the smells of the games and the grass and the like Cracker Jacks and stuff like that.
If you think about it, what made baseball America's pastime was the ability to pass it down to your sons or fathers to sit and go to a game and do all those things you're talking about. Get the peanuts and get the soda. The dads will get the beer, but you know what I mean. And explain the game. You know, help have them fill out the box score and learn the ins and outs of each and every player, so that you become a fan of that player and then that team. And it's something you can share, and it's unique. It's in a mass arena, but it's like a little intimate interaction with whoever you go with.
I think you just explained it so well, and you figured it out, because that's what it really is. It's the engagement. It's the fact that we can go to a game and keep score and be engaged together, but also on the game, and so that's great with the kids. Now you have a newborn.
Yes, I do. I have a newborn daughter. Her name is Brooklyn Kendall. I'll get her into sports too. I don't know if it'll be football or baseball, but she'll be into sports.
She's beautiful.
She is beautiful. She's my fifth child. I have a 11-year-old son, just turned 10-year-old son, and 3.5-year-old twins. So I have a full household when I have all 5 of them together. And it's fun. It really is. My older boys are into sports. They love baseball. They're playing football as well. And it's fun to see them grow. And I get to be a dad, but also be a teacher. And, they'll try this, they'll do this. And I got to not be overbearing, because I know that that could be detrimental. But I get excited to think about where they can be as athletes.
It's pretty awesome. I'm finding fatherhood just the most amazing thing in the whole world. Especially can't imagine when he's old enough to start playing sports. Does she keep you up at night?
She does sometimes, but I have a wonderful, beautiful, and wonderful wife who takes care of it. I have an early wake up at 3:30.
Radio show.
Yeah, I have a radio show, so I'm out of bed at 3:30, and I'm out of the house by about 4:15, and on the air from 6 to 9. So my wife takes a lot of that burden during the middle of the night. And when I come home, take care of it. What you'll find is kids are amazing, because you finally realize what the meaning of life is. It's not about me. You know what I mean? It's what can I do to grow this young force that's now in the world and dependent upon me as a mentor and a father.
So true. I couldn't have said it better. And the radio show people can find on CBS Radio, but also you can get it on the app as well, the CBS Radio app. Tell me about the other books real quick.
Well, so our first book was called By My Brother's Side. It was the first one we did. It was a labor of love. It was a true story about me riding on a construction site down in Roanoke, Virginia, and I wrecked and ripped my knee open, and I couldn't play sports that summer, and it was devastating. But my brother was always there with me. He was always telling me, "I'm here with you. You know, you're going to get better. You're going to be fine." And football season rolls around, and I'm able to play. And it's about my mom and her perseverance with us and mentoring and always getting us to study. And so we decided to write another one, and then we wrote another one, and eventually we said, you know what, those kids, those little 7 and 8 year olds that are reading those books are soon going to want to read chapter books. So we wrote our first chapter book called Kickoff. It was about us graduating from Little League to middle school, where the dynamics are completely different. You're not on a disorganized team. You're on an organized team. You have coaches and dynamics. You got to try out. You're not just anointed to a position. And the struggles of going to school now, as well as playing a sport. And we just kept expanding on those, 5 of those, and eventually moved on to basketball and now baseball.
I love it. And you and Rondé are still close, which I also love, and it's amazing.
Very close. We, interestingly, our oldest kids are almost exactly the same age. His 11-year-old daughter is the same, about a month older than my 11-year-old son. His 10-year-old daughter is about 5 months older than my 10-year-old son. So we did kind of everything together, and we still stay very, very close.
That's awesome. What do you think of doing book signings? What's it like for you?
This is fun. I like people. I like interacting with people. I love the reactions on kids' faces when they see me as an athlete or see me as an author, which is interesting because a lot of these younger kids, that's what they'll primarily see me as someone who wrote a book, not as someone who was on a gridiron for 10 years and banging my head in for the New York Giants, because they were babies when I was playing the game, but they can still interact and relate through me because of the words that we put on paper.
It's terrific. And I think it's also nice to see for other people to see how much more there is to you than just being an athlete. I mean, you're a computer science guy, a coder, huh?
Yeah, no, I was a geek, man. I was valedictorian in my high school. I went to UVA because I wanted a great education, and accidentally became a really good football player. The guy in front of me hurt his hamstring.
How come those kind of accidents don't happen to me?
Preparedness, it's opportunity and preparedness, and that's what some people call luck. And I was lucky but prepared, and really took off as a college athlete, and it propelled me into this football career that lasted for 10 years. But in the back of my mind, I was always that geek. I wanted to design and build things, and the problem was they didn't design in COBOL anymore, or even C++. It's evolved so much, the programming languages, but it led to a labor of love, which was building an e-commerce business that athletes can use to book local engagements with either business consumers or individual customers who want them to come to basketball parties or bar mitzvahs or corporate speaking events or flag football games or pick up basketball games. It's called Thuzio.com, and I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Can you spell it?
THUZIO.com, and we based it off of the word enthusiast, because we know that everybody's an enthusiast of something. A lot of sports, but eventually we're moving out of sports and getting into musicians and authors and actors and other types of celebrities who want to engage with their communities.
That's awesome. I love it. And by the way, Tiki and I were geeking out behind camera before. So, Tiki, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. You're awesome.
My pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Good luck with your 10-month-old.
Thank you.